Tensions are also rising in the Gulf. The United States has deployed soldiers to the region, around 3,000 soldiers to be precise. They arrived on board 2 warships on Sunday, the USS Bataan and the USS Carter Hall. One is an amphibious assault ship, the other is used for dock landing. Both vessels sailed into the Red Sea on Sunday. But what are they doing there? Countering Iranian aggression. Iran has been capturing oil tankers in the Gulf. How many? Around 20 in the last 2 years, according to Washington. So the US and its allies are worried. Oil prices are already high. The last thing they want is a tanker seizure. So what did Joe Biden do? He flexed his military muscles. He sent thousands of soldiers and multiple fighter jets to the region. Reports say the plan is to escort commercial tankers. How does that work? You deploy US Marines or soldiers on these ships. You raise the stakes for Iran. If they seize or attack these tankers, they could hurt American troops or worse, kill them. So the hope is that the escort will deter Tehran. And what is Tehran saying? Their foreign minister says the deployment is unnecessary and the Gulf nations can protect themselves.
The US military presence in the region has never been meant for maintaining security. Instead, their aim has always been to exacerbate insecurity and instability. Therefore, Iran's position is very clear. We believe in Gulf countries' ability to provide security for themselves and to design a collective security pattern without the presence of foreign troops.
Iran is not backing down. In fact, they're expanding their arsenal. The Iranian Navy has been equipped with a new missile. It's called the Abu Mehdi. It has a range of 1,000 kilometers. The latest showdown has massive implications, both for the US and for the rest of the world. The region we are talking about is this, the Strait of Hormuz. It is 39 kilometers long. It is a choke point between the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf. And why is it important? Because 20% of the world's oil passes through this strait. 20%. If there is fighting in Hormuz, all of us will feel the pinch. Iran knows this. They capture oil tankers for 2 reasons. One is tit for tat. The US often captures tankers containing sanctioned Iranian oil. When that happens, Tehran responds. The second reason is to put political pressure. We know how important oil prices are. Iran weaponizes this to gain concessions. They're doing that. Are they doing that now is the question. It's certainly a possibility. There was talk of an intermediate nuclear deal between Iran and the US. Maybe Tehran is angling for better terms. And if they are, it is the perfect time to do this. America's attention and resources are spread thin. They have a war in Eastern Europe. You have China knocking on Taiwan's doors. So Joe Biden has a lot on his plate. Plus, the American public is tired of West Asian wars. The US military largely pulled out of the region under Donald Trump. Their last carrier left West Asia in November 2020. The last Marine unit was pulled out in 2021. So it was the right time to test Biden's resolve. Would he re-enter the region or not? Well, this time he's decided to order massive deployments. It's definitely a signal of intent. You don't deploy 3,000 soldiers and fighter jets if you're half-hearted. Just one question though. Why? Biden has a re-election next year. Why would he risk being dragged into West Asia again? Reports say his allies want him to do this. Saudi Arabia and the UAE have been cozying up to China. Biden needs to offer them something that China cannot, and that something is security. Safe passage for oil tankers. And where does that leave West Asia? In a more tense situation, certainly. The more deployments you have, the higher the risk of conflict. That's what happened in the 1980s, remember? Iran and the US were engaged in a tanker war. In 1988, the US attacked Iranian oil rigs. They also sank multiple ships. It was the largest US naval battle since the Second World War. My point is very simple. Risks are higher, but China and Russia will be enjoying this. More attention in West Asia means less attention in the Pacific or in Eastern Europe. It's something Joe Biden should be wary of. This is a place where starting a war is pretty easy, but ending one is nearly impossible. He's put thousands of soldiers and weapons in an old flashpoint. What he does next will be crucial.